Hello and welcome to the Midnight Cocktail Hour here at Scan Pro Audio. No, it's not. It's a Friday dinner time. And this is David from Roland, who's brought along the RD-2000, which is the new flagship keyboard, I think, from Roland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, this is our latest flagship stage piano, I would say. Yes,
that's
definitely.
Right. Well, it was announced at NAMM. I got a quick look at it. A couple of things I noticed straight away.
Yep.
In terms of quality, this looks like it's actually steel. Is it aluminium or something?
Yeah, it's aluminium, so it's actually the same exact weight as the RD-800, but now also with an aluminium chassis as well.
Wow. And the keys, I noticed a couple of times there, there's actual blocks of wood under there, so these are very high quality keyboard.
This is our actually top range keybed, which is the PHA50, so very, very comfortable to play, but also very important in this case is it's like a hybrid. It's a plastic core, but it's covered with wood. So you have the proper wood feel because it is real wood, but still the more sort of stability of plastic. So it's
so,
like
so
the
anybody
best
coming from an acoustic piano would be right at home here.
Absolutely,
and
definitely.
It'd feel great.
Yeah.
Not to say that synth players equally wouldn't.
No, exactly. I think to me this keyboard is like medium weight, so it's not too heavy for synth sounds, but it's also heavy enough for pianos and Rhodes and stuff like that. So it's very versatile in that sense.
Very cool. Well, clearly one of the things here is connectivity, because there's a heck of a lot going on here. But before we look at that, why don't we just have a quick run through some of the stock sounds on board? We're listening to a beautiful piano there before. What else have we got right under your fingertips?
Yeah, so actually this one has two sound engines basically. So it's our supernatural technology combined with V-piano technology.
All right.
So it's several different types of technology, and of course we also have sort of normal PCM sample-based sounds as well. So yeah, we were listening to the piano there. We can have a little listen to some of the Rhodes. It's also supernatural beautiful. Sort of part modeling EPs.
Very cool. Very 1970s.
Yeah, loving those sounds. So yeah, and of course we have quick access buttons to all the categories as usual. You can go to some strings here. And some nice pads.
Beautiful. And I presume you're able to layer this stuff up pretty easily, yeah?
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of the key things, I think, with the RD-2000, because it's very, very hands-on. So it's very intuitive to work with. Obviously, you have a lot of control here and here. And it's very, very easy to layer sounds. For instance, you can even... So we have 8 parts here that you can layer and mix and so on very quickly. And you can actually layer up to 4 sounds at the same time just by pressing the equivalent or corresponding buttons at the same time. So, for instance, let's say I want to mix a piano with a pad and a string. So I hold piano, string, pad, and now we have that layer set up over there.
Yeah. So it doesn't get much easier than that.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, now you have direct access to all kinds of parameters, so you can easily, mix the levels. That's just the piano there. Put some strings in, and the pad. And of course, you can mute everything as well, so you have mute buttons here directly. So now it's piano solo, string solo, and so on.
Fantastic. So I could see when you assigned those voices for the red lights came on, but there's a couple of green lights there as well. I presume that might be external sounds that you can control from here as well?
You're exactly right. So basically we have the possibility to choose whether each part, we have 8 parts, whether each part should be an internal part or external part. So in this case, of course, on track 1 here, or part 1, I had just a normal piano.
That's the internal voice.
Yeah, and I can just mute that, so now we hear nothing. And now I'll just turn the faders up of one of the external tracks. And here we have, so now we can see in Ableton the fader going up. So this is being controlled by MIDI, so that's just been turned up there. And also, thanks to these 8 assignable knobs, if I just put it to assignable mode, I can control any parameters I want for each channel
All
individually.
right, of the different preset over here.
Yeah, exactly. So, for instance, now I select the vocal channel here, and I can control the vowels of the vocals because that's what I've assigned it to.
Yeah.
And then, if I go to the next one, I'll just turn this down, and here I have a synth sound, or sort of a synth pad, and I'll select that one, and I've assigned another parameter here, which is sort of brightness kind of thing.
Okay, so let's just be clear about this, because I think it's important we say it. This isn't a case just of the keyboard controlling the Mac and the output coming from the Mac like a MIDI controller. The actual sound from the computer is coming back into the keyboard. That's correct?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we have a built-in audio interface here. It's 24-bit, 192K, so it's really high quality as well. So just hook up your computer via USB, and you get all the sounds from just this one.
Cool. Now I'm imagining, guys, musical directors of West End shows and having a lot of stuff exactly like this, samples to trigger, different orchestras coming from huge libraries. Once he's got all that, can you save all this off as one sort of a combination of all these things? Do you?
Yes, absolutely. So I mean, we have what we call a program here, which is essentially a performance. So all of these settings I'm making, what sound should be where, and layers and splits and so on. Of course, you can put any key range on every part as well. Effect settings and what is assigned to what knob and so on as well. All of that is saved in what we call a program here. So you just call up a program for each, for instance, a song. One song has all the settings and the assignable parameters and so on for each song. So yeah, that's called a program, and we have hundreds of those inside here. So there's plenty of space to do this.
To store it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, so then as I was looking at this, I caught sight of this here, which says harmonic bar. I'm presuming that for some of the organ programs, then these actually take the place and become real drawbars. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can see also the different pipes, so to speak,
the pipe
here.
length underneath. Can we hear that?
So I just go to one touch piano, which makes it a single piano sound here, and then we can just easily go to organ. And now we just go to harmonic bar just by doing that. And now we have all the settings for the different harmonic bars.
And of course, these are very useful for getting that incredibly realistic live sound.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, we can also assign mod wheels and things like that. We even have 2 extra mod wheels here, so we can, control them in different ways like that as well.
Cool.
And
okay, Leslie effect.
Yeah. So, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. Really nice virtual organs there as well.
Very cool. Okay, so one of the things I know that piano players who come from acoustic pianos often complain about when they come to a stage piano, however good it is they don't like the note grabbing when the polyphony gives out. It doesn't matter, we've got 88 note polyphony or 128 polyphony. It still grabs some notes when they play flourishes. But I see you're calling this full polyphony. So could we have a bit of a demonstration of that?
Yeah, full polyphony basically means you will not run out of polyphony at all. So we can start, really hard and just go. And you can do this basically for as long as you want.
And this is on the V piano, we should say, isn't it?
Yeah, this is on the V piano engine, so not for the Supernatural engine, which is more limited to 128 voices.
But it's still very cool. So another thing that struck me while you were playing is expandability. Are you able to expand the RD-2000? Is that?
Yes, you can. We have an expansion slot, expansion button here, so which allows you to access. You have two banks where you can import axial patches.
Okay, what are axial patches?
Axial is our site for Roland site for expansions of sounds for all kinds of products, really. So we have all kinds of EP sounds, synth sounds and stuff. For different products that are free as well to download. So
cool. Yeah. And finally, I suppose just for maybe Roland users from the RD-800 users who have 1,000 live sets that they've built up all the time, is it backwards compatible? Can they still come to this and use those?
Yes, completely backwards compatible. Now if we take a look at the back panel here, we have a 1/4-inch jack headphone output, which is pretty self-explanatory. We have two main outputs, so two pairs, one which is XLR and one which is 1/4-inch jack. So these actually work at the same time as well, so you can easily connect the XLR to the front of house while connecting the jacks to your monitors, for instance. We also have a sub-out stereo pair, so you can choose any channel or channels to come out from this output separately. We have a stereo input mini jack for your auxiliary needs. You want to connect a phone or an MP3 player or something like that, that's totally fine. We have 4 separate pedal inputs along with 3 different MIDI connections. So we have MIDI in and out and through /out too. So 2 separate outputs there. As well as connection for memory stick and audio and MIDI via USB connector as well.
Very cool. David, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for coming in. And
my pleasure.
For those of you watching, we are now going to return to the cocktail hour here at Scan Pro Audio, and a very good night to you.